Hello and welcome everyone, we are back with another chapter review of Undead Unluck. Now before we get into the chapter, I just want to say a quick sorry about not being able to put out the Victor video last week, even though I said I might have been able to. Yeah, actually I kind of completely spaced and forgot it was actually my mom's birthday this week, so yeah, I was kind of busy with all that kind of stuff. And to be honest, I probably will be a bit busy next week as well, so it probably won't be going out next week. Hopefully the week after, and I really feel like I'm overhyping this video. Now, I'm not really hyping it, but yeah, I'm just saying it's being delayed. But it's nothing like an amazing video or anything, it's just a normal simple video. But yeah, it's a video I've already recorded and I've committed to putting out. It will eventually come out. I'm even considering re-recording the audio for it, like I could do a better job at it. It was kind of off the cuff, I just wanted to make a Victor video and I just kind of went with the flow of how I was feeling at that moment. And to be honest, ever since I recorded, I haven't actually re-listened to the audio yet, so yeah, I might give it a re-listen. Maybe I won't re-record it if I think it's okay, but just in my head I feel like I didn't really do that good of a job, so maybe I'll re-record the audio. And speaking of not doing a great job, I did go live for my tier list video about the Umas, and to be honest, I kind of gave up. It'll be like a part 1 kind of video. I will edit it down into a shortened version and I'll put it out, and if people do somehow like it, I will do the part 2. But yeah, in the first part, I think I was just really tired and hungry. I didn't really eat that much for the day and it was really late at night while I was recording. So yeah, my brain just really wasn't functioning how I wanted it to, and like the concept I was going with was kind of really abstract and out there with it, and like it was taking up too much brain power, so I just called it a quits halfway through the stream. But yeah, when I edit that down and put it out, if people really do enjoy it, like the last one got a pretty good reception. I say good reception, it just got like a lot more views than I usually get on a video. But yeah, if it performs similar to that one, then yeah, I will do a part 2 again. And yeah, expect that shortened version of the live stream sometime this week. And it won't be like the Victor video, I will actually get it out this week. Now that's enough for the pre-talk, let's get into the chapter review. We're here with chapter 212 titled Live at Live. And this chapter actually starts off with a really cool color page. You could kind of use this cover page as a leaflet for the actual concert. It's got the former members of Unison with Kururu jamming out at the top, and we got the new Unison at the bottom. And what's really cool with this color page is actually you see that their suits that they're wearing for the new Unison are all different colors. You can't really tell that in the manga, but yeah, I really like that Yoshifumi can show that aspect of the outfit in this cover page. So yeah, this chapter starts off with a flashback, and you know what I'm realizing? A lot of Undead Unluck chapters start off with a flashback, but I'm not hating, it's building lore, and they usually answer some questions. So in this flashback, Kururu is talking to Kade, and they're discussing what we learned before, that there was an agency that wanted Kururu. Kururu's telling Kade that she can convince the agency to let Kade join as well, but Kade's declining and saying she's not skilled enough yet. But Kururu gets angry at her and says they just don't understand what kind of talent Kade really has. And again, Kururu's talking about how Kade has something that Kururu doesn't. Kade says that she feels that she's gonna come across something special very soon. And that's where we drift out of the flashback and into current time. Kururu's telling one of the stagehands to connect her to Kade. Kururu suggests to Kade that they skip this one band goes first and one band goes second nonsense and they just perform together simultaneously. So they'll both perform one song and alternate singing each phrase. Kururu's actually kind enough to suggest that since Kade got her crew last minute, they probably wouldn't get a grasp on the routine. So Kururu offers Kade that they go head to head one-on-one. But Kade lets her know that she had a feeling Kururu would propose such an idea, so she already had the crew memorize the routine. Now we head over back to Fuuko's dad, and it seems like whatever he was working on, he's finished with it now. I thought he was working on something for Kururu's concert, but it might just be him working on some regular old work. It's mentioned later on in this chapter that he is a writer. I don't know if that was already confirmed to us and I just forgot, but yeah, Fuuko's dad is a writer apparently. But anyway, he's looking at the time and it's looking like he can't mail this work he's finished with and get to the concert in time. But that's when Sean shows up with the Nimbus outside of his window, and Sean lays off a pretty cool line that I'm sure he was practicing in his head whilst he was watching Fuuko's dad finish off his work. So the scene goes something like this. Right Eye's like, "Oh no, I won't make it." And then Sean's like, "Oh, you will." Dramatic pause. "As long as you're a good guy." And he's outside there on the Nimbus in the window. I'm sure Sean was trying to come off really suave and cool like in this scene. So we then go to Right Eye and Sean riding on the Nimbus. And we definitely skipped over some stuff because I can't see Right Eye just getting on this random cloud straight away. Maybe his love for Kade would actually let him do that. But I'm assuming he probably had some questions for Sean like, what do you mean by if I'm a good guy? You just came out of nowhere with this weird cool one-liner. What do you mean? And yeah, I can see it going like one of those classic scenes where a character's trying to be cool, but the person they're performing for is not really like playing into it, and it just kind of kills the vibe of their mood they're trying to create. But anyway, Sean says that he's surprised that Right-Eye can ride the Nimbus straight away, and he feels kind of stupid that it took him so long to learn how to. But I guess it does work just like the regular Nimbus. You've got to be pure of heart to be able to even ride it, and I guess Sean really wasn't that pure of a heart kind of guy before meeting Fuuko and joining the Union, so it does make sense he wasn't able to ride it straight away. And I guess it is really typical of Fuuko's dad. He is really a good guy, so of course he's going to be able to ride the Nimbus. And Sean even says that he won't be able to get there fast enough using his power alone, and Right-Eye needs to help out and put his feelings into it to make the Nimbus go even faster. So they do get to the concert in time to see Kade and Kururu performing, and it seems as though Right-Eye is falling under the influence of Unchaste. And now we go into a bit of Kururu's internal monologue. She says she has a slight edge on Kade in terms of skill, and she realizes Kade's given her limited amount of phrases over to rookies like Latla. She even starts to think that maybe Kade's even trying to mock her, but her thoughts are cut short by telepathic communication from Soul. He's basically telling her, I don't care about your little feud with Kade. Right-Eye's up there in the sky. Snipe him with your Unchaste so that Fuuko ceases to exist. So it turns out that Unchaste isn't completely all-powerful. Just by seeing Kade sing doesn't mean you completely fall under her control. Because in this instant, Right-Eye's not completely under Kururu's influence yet, and it turns out it's because the other Union members' souls are in the way. I don't know if he means the other souls that Kururu's currently captivating with the Unchaste, or like Fuuko's and their soul is like interfering with the signal or something like that. But yeah, there is ways to combat against Unchaste, it seems like, or at least it does have its limitations. So Kururu tries to talk back to Soul, saying that she doesn't need to concentrate her power on Right-Eye, and that she can make someone like him eat out the palm of her hand just with her ability alone. But Soul just reminds her that she is not the one in charge here, and he actually explains that Kade has already figured out how to control souls unconsciously, and he basically says that in order for Kururu to reach Kade's level, he loaned her a substantial amount of his own soul. Now this scene from Soul here actually gives us a lot of information, and I feel like this is a recurring thing with Soul. Whenever he shows up, we get some more kind of lore and understanding dropped as well. He seems to be a bastion of knowledge in this world, and he's like the great explainer for us. So for one thing, we've confirmed that this version of Unchaste can create specific targets. She can like captivate some people more than others, like in a wide area. And also that Kururu and Soul have actually been communicating to each other. Probably not physically, because I think Andy's still up there keeping Soul locked within the sun, but he can do this telepathic communication somehow with her. I'm wondering how he's able to pull this off though. Can he just telepathically communicate with anyone? For some reason, I'm getting kind of like a vibe of the cube from One Punch Man, where if you touch the cube, you're able to communicate with God in One Punch Man. Like maybe Soul has some sort of object you can touch and you can communicate with him. I don't know why it's flown into my head, but I'm feeling like, yeah, that could be kind of one explanation you could give for Soul being able to communicate with people. But anyway, we also learn in this little monologue from Soul that Kade's able to control souls subconsciously, and I guess that's what we kind of saw last chapter where she had an aura around her. So if you see aura in this series, it's probably soul energy. And I guess this kind of sort of technically makes us fall into that trope of the main character's parents being kind of powerful, because controlling souls is kind of like the pinnacle of the power system of Undead Unluck at the moment. And if Fuuko's mom's able to do that, that makes her pretty powerful, but she's not using it for like attack purposes and stuff. She's using it to like help people really, which might be why Fuuko has a knack for it as well actually. So yeah, when she was helping those old people out with their chiropractic issues, that's probably soul stuff going on. Kade can really sing to your soul. Now the final little piece of information that Soul gives us is that Kururu caught on to the fact that Kade was unconsciously controlling souls. He even says that she deserves some praise because she was able to like figure it out and get the gist of it even before she awakened her negation ability. So this is actually the thing that Kururu was saying Kade has that she doesn't, the ability to control souls. So yeah, like in my last chapter review, I was saying that it seems like Kururu is not talking about something like metaphorical here, like there's actually something Kade has. I was going along the lines that maybe it was a negation ability, but the ability to control souls is a really good explanation as well. So anyway, back to the chapter. Soul just tells Kururu that he's the one calling the shots here, and if she's not going to do what he wants, he'll just make her do it. And it seems he just remotely forces her to like launch a like soul bullet of Unchaste towards Right-Eye. Fuuko seems to notice, and it seems like she's already concocted a plan beforehand with her mother. She basically told her when she gives her the signal, sing with everything she's got and pour it all into a special crush that she likes. And whilst they're performing on the stage, Kade and Fuuko come together and it seems like a soul bullet shoots out of the both of them. So what I think Fuuko is trying to do here is get Kade to like channel all her energy and like love for Raitai, and then Fuuko's able to actually manipulate the soul enough to converge all that energy and feeling into an actual soul bullet. She's trying to let their soul bullet like collide with Unchaste's soul bullet in order to cancel it out. But it seems like Kade just lets it splinter out into like loads of little pieces, kind of like a firework, and the Unchaste soul bullet is able to actually hit Raitai directly straight on. The performance comes to a close and Unison has received a crushing defeat, 100-0, and it looks like Fuuko's fading away even more now. It looks like her complete body is almost transparent, and for some reason her clothes are kind of ripped as well. After the show, Kade is chasing after Kururu, trying to see what's wrong with her. Then Raitai comes in and he's singing Kade's praises. And to the complete shock of Kururu, Unchaste isn't working. He's like completely ignoring her. He only cares about Kade. Kururu even asked, there must have been at least one moment you were like even swayed by me. And Raitai actually says that he was at a point, but he remembered that the idol he fell in love with would never sing for just one person. And that when he saw Kade's performance, he realized that it was actually her who he loved. He says that no matter where she is or who she's with, she's the idol who always has fun with everyone, and she does it with a smile on her face. And he says that's what he loves about Kade. And I want to point out a really nice artistic detail that Yoshifumi has added in this panel. You see, throughout this arc, Raitai's like glasses are always shading over his actual eyes. But you see here in this panel where he's actually being his true self and actually been able to reveal his love to Kade, we actually get to see his real eyes for the first time in this loop. And along with what comes next actually kind of signifies that this is the point where he actually becomes Fuuko's father. And it's kind of sort of foreshadowed, like from when Fuuko had that little mini flashback about walking into his room with his mother to show him a painting that Fuuko made. We saw his eyes then, but in the actual loop now, his glasses still had the like shading to it, so it was hiding his eyes. Now whilst he's saying this, we pan over to Fuuko and she looks like almost completely transparent. And in the center of her chest, there's like a circle. I'm not sure if that's a representation of her soul, but it does just kind of look like there's a hole in her chest. However, we get this small panel and it kind of looks like the unification of Raitai and Kade's soul, creating that new soul that Soul was talking about. Soul.
Say
Soul.
again, I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say
Soul.
one more goddamn time.
And it seems to just blast into Fuuko's chest, and it looks like Fuuko's been repaired again. It seems it's all been successful and Fuuko's vessel has been repaired. Fuuko communicates with Nico, says everything's fine and that he should take it away now. We then go to Kade trying to thank Fuuko and actually ask for her name, but she stops in her tracks and just gets confused about what she was about to say. It seems Nico has done the Men in Black memory wipe, well, even more advanced version of the memory wipe from Men in Black, because he can just do it remotely. But yeah, the chapter ends off with the Union members riding away on the Nimbus with Kururu in tow. Wow, so I believe that is the end of the Unchaste arc. It was a fun ride getting to meet Fuuko's parents, and I feel we got a pretty big question answered with this arc. The whole thing about Fuuko being in this loop now after traveling the arc, like the whole circumstances around her birth, how does that really work? And to be honest, I said it was answered, but it was kind of just addressed really. Initially in the arc, it was kind of introduced to us like it might be like paradox issue going on, but Soul was able to explain to us that like it was a vessel issue and like the soul of Fuuko still needed to be created in this loop through her parents' union. Are Raitai and Kade gonna have a child in this loop? And if so, is that child just a different entity altogether from Fuuko? Yeah, to be honest, I still have questions. Also, I still have questions about how Raitai was able to negate Unchaste. I do have a thought on this, and I want to actually thank a commenter on the last video. He reminded me of Book of the End from Bleach, which is a similar ability to Unchaste is right now. One thing with Book of the End, if the person under the effects figures out a logical inconsistency with their memories, they're at risk of just having like a complete mental breakdown. But I'm thinking if you find a logical inconsistency like Raitai did with Unchaste, then you'd actually just dispel the ability instead. And I'm thinking that maybe that's the way to get around this more powerful version of Unchaste. But yeah, that's all I've got for this video, guys. Thank you for watching if you made it this far, and I'll see you later.